A very good afternoon, everyone. Hello and welcome to this presentation. You all might have heard about one nation, one election in the news or during political discussions. But what exactly does it mean? Is it about holding all the elections together, or does it involve major constitutional and administrative changes? Today, through this presentation, we will explore this concept, its benefits, challenges, and way forward. So let's begin. One nation, one election, a governance proposal in India to hold elections to Lok Sabha and all state legislative assembly together on a synchronized 5-year cycle. Before discussing the present, let's first look at the past. Historical background. Simultaneous elections are not a new concept in India. They were already exist from 1952 to 1967. The current proposal seeks to restore this synchronization through constitutional and legal reforms. During this time period, there was a uniform electoral cycle and one-party dominance, that is Indian National Congress. But in 1959, Kerala Assembly dismissal was the first major setback for India's electoral cycle, triggered by controversy over education reforms. In 1952, first general election held simultaneously for Lok Sabha and most state assemblies. In 1957-62, that is the second and third general election, the same pattern continues. In 1967, fourth and the last nationwide simultaneous elections held. Hereby, we have seen 4 consecutive general elections from 1952 to 1967. Major reasons of why this cycle is struck. First reason is the premature dissolution of several state assemblies during the time period of 1968 and 1969. For example, Haryana in 1967, the most famous case of defection, Aaron Baran led the government. In Patna 1968, the coalition government collapsed. In West Bengal 1968 and 1969, Union Front government collapsed. In Bihar 1968, the government lost the majority and presidential rule was imposed. In Uttar Pradesh 1968 and 1969, political instability and defection led to the collapse of the government in these states. Second reason was the fourth Lok Sabha, which was elected in 1967, dissolved early in 1970. As a result, first general election were held in 1970, permanently breaking the synchronization. Ultimately, political instability, faction, and breakdown were the main reasons or the root causes for India's electoral cycle destruction. Now let's talk about the current election cycle in India. India follows a synchronized election, that is, election for the Lok Sabha and state assemblies are at different times. Due to the premature dissolution and the right of election committed almost 80 electoral party elections are now held differently. This is because of some provisions. Article 83 Clause 2 and Article 172 Clause 1, Lok Sabha and state assemblies respectively. At the same time, Article 85 for Lok Sabha and 174 for state assemblies have the provisions to premature dissolutions. And if state constitutional machinery fails, Article 86 rule. Successful no confidence motion and coalition breakdown also contribute to difficult elections. Here in very short, we understand that current system led elections spread across multiple years. However, one nation, one election, single synchronized election window every 5 years. Let's quickly go through the current election cycle in the country. In 2020, last Lok Sabha election conducted. In 2020, Bihar state assembly elections concluded. In 2026, recently we have seen the elections in Kerala, Assam. In 2027, the Pradesh and state assembly elections are scheduled. In 2028, Rajasthan, Kerala, Delhi assembly elections are lined up. In 2029-90, general election of Lok Sabha. Why are constitutional amendments required? As Constitution provides provision related to independent tenure and early dissolution, to implement one nation, one election, these provisions must be amended to synchronize elections. The amendments required is following. Article 83 Clause 2 deals with tenure of the Lok Sabha. Article 85 present power to summon prorogue dissolution. Article 172 Clause 1 deals with the tenure of state legislative assembly. Article 174 governs the power to summon prorogue dissolution. Article 356 provision related to the presidential rule. Article 324 hours of the Election Commission of India. And constitutional procedure, since one nation, one election affect parliament, state legislature, federal structure, so it's required special majority under Article 368. That is a ratification by at least half of the state legislature as it affects center-state relations. Advantages of one nation election. First, reduction is in election expenditure. Frequent elections require repeated expenditure on polling stations, EVM, VVPATs, election personnel, security forces, transportation, and logistics. Example is 2024 Lok Sabha election. Over 96 crore registered voters, more than 10 lakh polling stations, million of election personnel, and security forces. Therefore, the one synchronized election can reduce this administrative cost and improve the resource utilization. Better governance and policy continuity. Frequent elections often divert the attention of government towards election campaigns, political rallies, short-term populist measures. So now the government can focus more on policy implementation, infrastructure development, welfare program execution, and long-term economic plan. Third, reduced impact of Model Code of Conduct. Present situation, the Model Code of Conduct is imposed every time elections are announced, restricting government from announcing new schemes, major policy decisions, and starting new projects. But one common election cycle, there will be less disruption to this Model Code of Conduct access of the governments. Efficient utilization of administrative machinery. Currently, a large number of civil servants, teachers, government employees, district administration are repeatedly assigned election duties. These officials were diverted from their duties which affect public service directly. Utilization of security forces. Election requires repeated deployment of central police forces across different states. Reducing this repeated deployment, personnel will become available for border security, counter-insurgency, and internal security. Greater political stability. With this fixed election cycle, government may focus more on governance than constant campaigning. Administrative decisions becomes more predictable. Boost to economic activity. Frequent elections may temporarily affect government spending decisions, administrative approvals, and business confidence. Single-phase election happen policy certainty and also provide more stable investment environment for the country. Now let's see the challenges and criticism of one nation, one election. Collective federalism. As India followed a federal system in which union and state both have separate independent democratic mandate, but with one nation, one election. But with one nation, one election, it affects the state autonomy and also reduce the political importance of state elections. National issues may overshadow regional issues. By simultaneous elections, national leaders, national campaigns may dominate in the public attention, and the regional parties may receive less attention. Constitutional and legal challenges. Under Article 368, there is a requirement of multiple amendments in the Constitution as well as the changes in the election law. This required broad political consensus. What if a government falls midterm? If the state government loses its majority of the Lok Sabha dissolved early, all these issues made the implementation legally complex. Huge logistical changes, large number of EVMs, VVPATs, trained officials, and security deployments at a time across India is a challenge. Impact on democratic accountability. Longer intervals between the election cycles will provide reduced regular assessment of government by the public. Financial and administrative transaction cost during initial implementation may cost large in financial expenditure. Here is a international comparison. There is no universal model for conducting elections. Every country designed its electoral system according to its constitutional structure, political culture, and governance needs. For example, South Africa and Sweden follow the simultaneous elections, whereas Belgium follow partial simultaneous elections, and United States and Germany follow a separate election cycle. What will India's approach? India need a balanced model. As India has unique features, world's largest democracy, parliamentary system, multi-party political system, strong federal structure, diverse social, linguistic, and regional interest. Therefore, any one nation, one election model must be tailored to India's constitutional framework rather than copied from another country. Now let's treat government initiative to implement one nation, one election. Timeline of major initiatives. In 1983, Election Commission of India annual report for examining the feasibility of simultaneous elections. In 1999, B.P. Jeevan Reddy led Law Commission report recommended restoring simultaneous elections. In 2015, Niti Aayog discussion paper proposed phased implementation. In 2018, Law Commission reported for stated that one nation, one election required constitutional amendments and broad political consensus. In 2023, High-level committee chaired by Ramnath Kovind examined the feasibility and roadmap. March 2024, the COVID committee submitted its report recommended phase implementation and constitutional amendments. In September 2024, Cabinet approved the recommendation. In December 2024, the Constitution 29 Amendment Bill and Union Territory Amendment Bill introduced in the Lok Sabha intended to create the legal framework for simultaneous elections. These are the two most important developments to implement one nation, one election. To examine feasibility of one nation, one election, the Government of India constituted high-level committee on 2nd September 2023. Chairmanship by former President Ramnath Kovind. Submitted report to the President in March 2020. The recommendations of the committee: first, two-phase implementation of elections. Phase first, Lok Sabha and state assemblies elections. Phase second, 100-day window for urban local bodies, municipalities and panchayat elections. Constitutional amendments. Recommended necessary amendments. For example, Article 172, 327, etc. Handling a house or midterm collapse if a government calls the newly elected serve only the remainder term, not a fresh 5-year term to present synchronization. Common level rule for Lok Sabha, State Assembly, local body election require coordination between Election Commission of India and State Election Commission. Basic role of Election Commission of India, planning and strong coordination. The Constitutional 129th Amendment Bill, Central Government introduced this structural reform based on the high-level committee recommendation, but yet not passed, currently under review by a 39-member body committee. The key provisions under the amendment bill: simultaneous election, Sabha and assemblies. President notification required after first sitting of new Lok Sabha. Synchronized election cycle, common electoral schedule, both level of elections. Aligned assembly terms, state assemblies should adjust it to Lok Sabha tenure. Midterm election, if the government is in midterm, it had only served the routine and fresh 5-year term is allowed to get the. For the successful implementation of one nation and one election, necessary steps to be taken. First, build political consensus. As a proposal, both the union and state consultation with state government, political parties, constitutional experts, civil society is essential before implementation. Second, phase implementation, phase first, phase second, as recommended by the committee. Third, constitutional and legal reforms should provide a clear mechanism for premature dissolution, hung assemblies, midterm elections. Constructive vote of no confidence, a government can move only when the legislature simultaneously elect a new government. This prevents unnecessary dissolution and ensures continuity. Seventh, public awareness and voter education. Before implementation, conduct awareness campaigns, explain the new election process, increase voter participation and confidence. Ultimately, electoral reforms should enhance governance without compromising the democratic values and federal principles enshrined in the Constitution of India. This brings me to the end of my presentation. I hope I was able to explain the topic in clear and informative way. Thank you.